Hey everybody, welcome back to the Detective You Know. Real quick video today, short interrogation, 45 minutes. Matthew Boynton, he was a police officer in Georgia who was charged with a larceny of property from his ex-wife. The backstory is pretty interesting. I'll put some of that in the description, and here we go. Enjoy.
All right, Matthew, I'm just going to start off by letting you know that I am not conducting an internal investigation on you, okay? So Garrity is not implied. Okay, I want you to understand that, all right?
Okay.
All right, Garrity does not apply to this incident, okay?
Can you fully explain what that? I understand part of it, just.
She's gonna read you Miranda.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that I'm not conducting. I know I do IAs, but this is not an IA. This is in reference to a criminal investigation, okay?
Okay. What's that in reference to?
It's in reference to, you remember the statement you wrote me about Jessica saying you took items from the house?
Yeah, that computer. Yeah.
That's what it's going to be in reference to.
Okay.
So what's the time?
7.
So just to start, the detective just informed Officer Boynton that this is not internal affairs. This is Garrity does not apply. Let me explain what that is just real quick. Garrity is if you are facing disciplinary action or charges within your department, not criminal charges, but disciplinary charges, you are read what's called Garrity. Garrity is something where you are advised that anything you say cannot be used against you criminally, but you are obligated to give a statement to whoever's investigating, whether it's your own department or another department. But that statement can never be used against you criminally. And he's also been advised that they're reading him Miranda, which should alert Officer Boynton that he is facing a criminal charge. He was told he's facing a criminal charge. Read the comments or the description of the video to get the background on this. I don't want to bog you guys down with that, but let's watch more.
22.
How old are you, Matthew?
21.
What's your current address?
130 LeMay Road.
Spell that for me.
LOUMAE.
Oh, he's yawning. Must be bored.
Is that Griffin?
Yes, man. It's the county.
He's not going to be bored in a few minutes.
224.
All right. And what's the last grade you completed in school?
I graduated high school.
Okay.
At college.
All right. What this is a Miranda waiver before we read to everybody before we talk to them. Let's just got today's date at 7/27 to 17. The time was 17:22. We're in CID. Your name is Matthew Boynton. You're age 21. You live at 130 LeMay Road, Griffin. You completed the 12th grade of school, and that you know that myself, Kay Yancey, and Jay Hayes are officers with the Griffin Police Department, and we're going to advise you that you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. Do you understand that? I have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with me while I'm being questioned. Do you understand that? If I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent me before any question if I wish. Do you understand that? I can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand that? It says, I understand my rights, and having these rights in mind, I'm now willing to talk about items that belong to Jessica. I've not been threatened. I've not been promised anything. I've not been forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements. Okay? If you want to talk to us, just sign right there.
So Matthew is a high school graduate who is a police officer in his community. He is also the grandson of the chief of police. Matthew was in this incident is stemming out of an incident where Matthew discovered his wife after an attempted suicide, according to him, where she was shot in the head, I believe twice, and found in a closet. And I believe through pressure from his grandfather, who's chief of police, this was kind of swept under the rug and it was ruled a suicide attempt, even though Jessica, his now former wife, said, no, I didn't try to kill myself. What this incident is stemming from is she had a duffel bag full of clothing and other things, including a very expensive mouth retainer that Matthew was refusing to give back to her, said he didn't have, and then it was later discovered that he did have it. I believe this is this department's effort to finally pin some charges on him that probably should have been pinned on him with the attempted murder of his wife that was swept under the rug, but now they have a solid crime against him and they're pursuing it 100%.
All right. So Jessica came in, she filed a report.
Okay.
I talked to you about it. You wrote a statement saying you didn't have any of her items.
Right.
The report specifically said her retainer and stuff like that, her clothes.
Okay.
Do you know anything about where her clothes or retainer may have been?
Like I told her before, the only thing that we might have had would have been in that white trailer, and my stepdad has not mentioned anything else being in there. And we gave everything back that we had, because she had put some stuff in like it's like a little foot chase thing. You open it up, it's got 2 little boxes. I think we used to use it for like diapers and stuff now, but I mean, everything that she had that I knew of was gone. I got rid of everything I knew of.
You got rid of a house, so.
Either give it back to her or her family came back and got it. You know, like she had a big kitchen table and some other stuff that her Aunt Kathy and Uncle Tim had come and got. Just different. I think my stepdad actually took a whole bunch of stuff over to her grandparents' house at 2464 East Milner in Pike, which is like right by my parents' house.
Okay. So when did you move to LeMay Road?
That would be sometime in March.
March. Through the course of that move, did you find anything that belonged to her at that point?
No, because if I would have, I would have turned it over to her, because I have no need to keep her stuff. The only thing I had at that point was that computer, and me and you had talked about that and gave it back to her, because she could let her and talk to Bird.
Okay. So, do you recognize that bag?
Yes, that bag that Jessica let me use to put all my gym stuff in when we used to be together.
Okay. So when's the last time you saw that bag?
It's been a long.
I absolutely love it when a detective asks a question, gets a BS answer, and then immediately whips out a file folder and then drops some evidence in front of the person who just lied. Classic. Great job.
Like I said, when I used to work out at there's 2 gyms in Thomaston. I don't remember the name of it. I used that one, and I had a gray Nike bag I used to work out in. So I interchanged my stuff like protein drinks, powder shakes like pre-workout, workout shorts, pants, shoes, whatever. I'd put it in that bag or my Nike bag.
So when's the last time you saw that bag?
I mean, it's been a while. I don't know an exact date. I don't know. I think my stepdad, he had it in the white trailer, and that's been a while. And he brought it, but I haven't been through it or anything. He put it in my storage thing in my house, which is like when you pull in the driveway. It's a little storage thing on the right. You open the door and it's got all my stuff in there. I had to clean some of it out recently. That was tossed in there, but I mean, it's in there with a bunch of my stuff, like a brown tub I used to keep in my old patrol car with gym stuff in it and work stuff.
Would that be the utility room or carport room at your new house?
Yeah, that's where I keep I keep stuff in that, and I keep stuff in like what's considered the office and like the back of my house.
When suspects are caught in a lie or they are discussing what the crux of the issue is, they do what Matthew's doing. It's what Ken Blue did. It's what Jalen Fleer did. They just start rambling. They just start going on and on and on and on and on with detailed descriptions. He was asked a very simple question. He's giving an overcomplicated answer.
I just tossed it over the rest of my gym. But it's just old gym bag.
All right, Matthew. me see the photo. Let's see the photo.
This other detective has had enough. He's been sitting back patiently with his arms crossed like this, listening to this early part of this interrogation, which there was no interview whatsoever. It was just straight to interrogation. And he's now had enough. He leans forward, takes a deep breath, rubs his forehead. Listen, Matthew. And he grabs the evidence. He's done with this foreplay. He wants to get right to it.
Known you a long time.
Yes, sir.
This bag, you saw it moving when you moved from your apartment to the main road.
I didn't know.
And your stepdad and Wendell saw it, and another female saw it. All right,
Okay.
at the house in the apartments. Yes or no? When you moved from the apartment.
When I moved, like I said, I had all my stuff in the white trailer.
Matthew,
and I
that's not what I'm asking you. When y'all were in the process of moving, and you moved into the house that you're at now, your residence, did you or did you not see this bag?
Yes, sir. It was in my storage room in the garage.
All right. Now, why would I be holding a picture of this bag?
I guess because Jessica brought it into you.
Why would Jessica have it if you had it at your house?
I don't know. I guess somebody got it from my garage or my shed.
Who would have gotten it?
There's a couple of people. I don't know
All right.
exactly who.
Okay. And inside that bag, there were numerous contents inside of it. And one of those is this right here. You know what this is?
It's like Jessica's old retainer thing that she had them wear together.
Right.
I love it when detectives bring the receipts.
The bag was completely filled with female clothes. And this is one photo of it. That's not yours.
No, not.
All right?
No, sir.
Okay. That's not yours.
No, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who did that belong to?
This got Jessica's name on it, so it'd be Jessica's retainer thing.
If it was in this right here, where would that have been at?
I had all her stuff in it.
What would it have been at?
It would have been in the garage thing, like I said,
Which is where?
which is at my house.
Which is at your house.
Yes, sir.
What you have just seen is classic Reed interrogation technique, and I'll explain briefly. You'll see it in a lot of videos. It's controversial. I was trained on Reed interrogation technique. And what it is as a detective, if you are like 95% sure plus that the person you're talking to committed a crime, you've got the goods on them, you just let them know. One of their phrases is, my investigation clearly indicates that you committed this crime, and you drop evidence on them. And when they try and push back, like Matthew did a couple times in this, you just chop them off at the knees. You don't let them finish. You don't let them divert with answers to other things that aren't the question you asked. You carpet bomb them with evidence, and you just don't take no for an answer. And it's high pressure interrogation. And it just worked 100%. He just got Matthew to admit, that's Jessica's bag, that's her retainer, that's her stuff. I know it is, and it was in my garage. They're done here. They could pick up and walk away right now. They're done. Excellent work. Detective A, maybe her job was to, the first detective, maybe her job was just to provide sort of a loose intro. Typical Reed technique is a soft interview and then a hard interrogation with what he just did. So maybe this is they're just tag teaming that.
Did you buy that for Jessica?
I don't recall. I don't think I did.
Because
I think her grandparents did.
Because she had retainers before she met you, right? Before y'all got married, right?
I believe so.
So that would make it whose property?
Hers.
Not yours, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Whose bag is that?
Jessica's.
And the contents in the bag?
And it's got all her stuff in it.
So why would you not have brought that to us when you saw the bag at moving?
Sarge, I promise I've not been through that bag. The last time I used that
Matthew,
bag was for the
I
gym.
didn't ask you that, Matthew. Listen to me, buddy.
I
Whose bag is this?
understand what you're saying. It's Jessica's. I should have brought it up here.
You know,
Next.
all things, and I don't know anything about your other issue, but all things involved in reference to this case, all the going around, the statement that you wrote, where's the statement at? The statement that you wrote. You said a statement. I didn't read this. I don't know what the statement said. What did it say?
It's just very brief. I gave Jessica her property like I gave her a computer and everything.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Whose is this bag?
It's Jessica's. I didn't think about it because I used it as a gym bag and she let me use it. I understand what you're saying.
They didn't plan this, but this is excellent that the female detective left the room. I don't think the female detective and this officer know each other, but the way he's addressing this other detective as Sarge and the way they're talking to each other, and I even believe he said, look, Matthew, I've known you for a long time. There's some familiarity, and now that the other female detective has left the room, you can see that it's become more casual. And Matthew even like lowers his voice and said, hey, Sarge, you know, and it's almost like he's going to give up some info in the hope that the two of them can work this out before the other detective get back. It's really, really interesting.
Matthew, a police officer.
Yes, sir. I understand.
You're a police officer, Matthew. You know we are held to a higher standard than anybody else.
I understand.
You know, people don't expect us to make mistakes, and they don't realize we're human. I understand that. You
Yes, sir.
understand that.
I should have been smarter about it.
You work out a lot, don't you? You stay in shape.
Try
You're in
to.
good shape, right?
Try to.
You have 2 bags that you swap your stuff in between, right?
Yeah, I don't have the other one anymore.
This would have been your only gym bag. So how would you not know the contents of the bag? If this was your gym bag, man.
I have no excuse. Like you said, I should have thought about it and brought it up here.
That's like having 2 cars.
Yes, sir.
If you use 2 cars and you get in the other one and it's out of gas, do you not know it's out of gas?
You're right.
Because you use 2 cars, right?
Yes, sir.
If you were using this, being slap full, when I say it was slap full, I mean it was, I want to say, just a guesstimate, probably 30 or 40 articles of clothing in it. You would have known. I mean, it almost looked like when whoever packed this bag had packed this bag to move.
Yes, sir.
This is Matthew Boynton, January 9th, 2017. I was advised to complete a statement on a previous date by Lieutenant Yancey. Jessica Lester Boynton's property was already previously returned to her by my stepdad, Charles McDaniel Jr. Shortly after Jessica got out of this hospital, the dining room table, along with other items, were picked up by Kathy Zellner for Jessica. The remaining items, such as Hope Chest clothing and other miscellaneous items, were returned to Jessica. I do not have any other items of Jessica's. This is Matthew Boynton. Is that your statement?
So what he's doing here is really clever. He's impeaching him with his own previous written statement in the interrogation. That's something you usually say for court. You have a witness testifying and they say something different than what they said before, and you could pull out a previous testimony or a previous statement and basically just call him a liar. He's doing this in the interrogation, which is incredible.
Yes, sir.
What's that, Matthew?
That's Jessica's bag. Jessica's retainer.
He's just beating him down with the evidence. Love it.
You understand you didn't buy that.
I understand.
That does not make it community property.
I understand.
That makes it her property
Yes, sir.
that you're in possession of.
Yes, sir. I understand.
You know, these questions may seem overdone, but when you're married to somebody or even boyfriend, girlfriend, community property is a thing. You can't steal community property. So he's making Matthew admit, you didn't buy this for her. It wasn't something that the two of you shared. It's not community property. It's hers and only hers, because that's an element of the crime. You don't have a crime if it's shared.
The bag was turned into us. We have possession of the bag.
Yes, sir.
We have evidence that says it came out of your storage room. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, sir. Like I said, I was just done with my part script.
Do you believe that statement to be accurate and true?
Not now.
Did you believe it then?
No, sir.
You need water or something, Matthew? You sure?
Yes, sir.
I got some right here.
Thank you.
All right. I'll be right back.
So we can just commentate over the video. I guess since they've left for a while, and I don't think that they pause it. Interesting, 5 minutes ago I said they've got all they need. He just reiterated, summarized, beat him down with the evidence again, and they're done. They're going to go outside, and what they're doing right now is they're just talking. Do we need anything else? There might have been another detective watching this on surveillance camera or a closed circuit camera who might want some follow-up questions asked. But the elements of the crime are: did you possess it? Yes. Was it yours? No. And was it something that you were supposed to give back or return, like you said you did in your statement? Yes, and no, you didn't. Very quick work by the detective. They've got the goods. They've got the evidence. No reason to dance around for a long time. Plus, he's a police officer. He knows that he's probably going to be straight with them. I am surprised when they said, "Do you have anything to say, Matthew?" He didn't say anything. He just said no. I mean, he's fessed up. Maybe he just thinks fessing up is enough. Normally, a defendant in a situation like this would say, "Is there anything I can do to make it right? What can I do to not have any charges here?" I'm not going to fast forward through this because I think something interesting does happen while they're gone. I think at some point in this interrogation, he just starts taking his uniform off because he knows that he's hit. So I don't want to miss that. His body language and everything he's doing now is actually pretty interesting. So we'll watch it. This is a short video. It's only 45 minutes. I've never been in this position, but I'll tell you what, as a police officer to be sitting in an interrogation room with two detectives interrogating you and then being left alone in there with your own thoughts. I can't imagine that. You saw it in the Ken Blue video. This is not a place, that is not the chair a police officer wants to be in, ever expects to be in, and is comfortable being in. I think that's why I find these videos so fascinating, is you've got the detective angle that we can talk about and analyze and critique and comment on. But you've also got the police officer in the hot seat angle, which is unique. You know, most criminals aren't police officers, and most police officers aren't criminals. But like any profession, lawyer, doctor, electrician, plumber, cement mixer, landscaper, whatever. There's people in all professions that commit crimes. But because I was a police officer and a detective, I find these very interesting. He's doing a lot of nervous things right now. Picking at his skin, picking at his hands. I saw that the detective was armed when he left, the male detective. I couldn't quite see the female, or I didn't notice. And I believe he's fully armed as well. We didn't interview suspects in an interrogation room like this with our weapon. You wouldn't want to get overpowered by a suspect in that room and have them get your gun. So there was always a lockbox outside. So I was surprised to see that he was armed. Maybe they're just confident that Matthew's not going to attack them or anything because he's a police officer. But detectives and police officers usually do things out of habit. So I was surprised to see that the detective was armed. I'm surprised that they're allowing Matthew to be armed in there. As we saw in the Ken Blue interrogation, he was in plainclothes. And in the Jalen Fleer video I posted a couple days ago, Deputy Jalen Fleer, they disarmed him. He went into the interrogation room without a gun in his holster. So it's kind of interesting. You never know how people are going to act under adverse situations like this. Much better if they don't have a gun. So we talked about this in the Ken Blue video. I don't know if that phone is actually in the room, like if there's a landline in there. But if there is, that should be turned off. If they were in the middle of interrogating him right now and that phone went off, that would break up any flow that they had or any rhythm. And it would be such a distraction. Or at the very least, if that phone is in an adjoining room or outside the door, they got to turn that ringer down. You can't have that kind of distraction in an interview or interrogation. If you watch the Ken Blue video, you saw how Ken was distracted by the detective's cell phone ringing twice in the first few minutes. And it broke up the interrogation a little bit. They've left him in here for a long time. I find this fascinating. Could be tactical. Although I can't think of any more questions they would have to ask him. They might just be figuring out what to do with him. I mean, he's just admitted to a crime. And it's just a larceny. Felony larceny because the value of the clothing is probably, he said 40 items of clothing, so you're probably looking at least $400, $500 worth of clothing, and $2,000 retainers and a duffel bag. So you're maybe talking $2,500 worth of stuff. That's certainly a felony larceny. He did give a sworn statement to the police that were investigating this that he didn't have the bag. That's another crime. False statement to the police or obstruction of justice, whatever they want to call it. So he's at least facing a couple of charges here. I wonder if they're discussing, well, should we arrest him now or just send him on his way and get a warrant? They read him Miranda, so he was not free to leave. If they had not read him Miranda, they wouldn't arrest him right now because a defense attorney could later come back and say, well, obviously he wasn't free to leave because you guys arrested him in the interrogation room. So he was never free to leave. You guys knew all along you were going to arrest him. I've had some cases where I had a gentleman who admitted to a criminal sexual conduct against a 5-year-old at a daycare. He was the husband of the wife that ran the daycare. He was actually a gentleman in his 60s, and he admitted to a criminal sexual conduct against a 5-year-old at the daycare. Well, he just admitted a felony to me, like a major felony. But because I told him beforehand that when he came in, he wouldn't be under arrest, no matter what he told me, I wasn't going to arrest him. I even interviewed him in our lobby interview room that was open to the public and had an open door, just so there was no claim later that he was in custody. And I didn't Mirandize him because I didn't want him to get scared of the Miranda warning and not talk. I was trying to keep everything as low key as possible, and he confessed, and I had to let him go. I mean, I wanted to arrest him right there, obviously, but I had to let him go because of all those circumstances. Got a warrant for him later. He was arrested, and I believe he's still in prison. These are probably discussions these detectives are having right now. What to do with Matthew? For the 3 of you still watching, thanks for sticking with it. I know this isn't a riveting video. It does give me a chance to talk without being accused of stopping the video every 1 minute and talking for 5 minutes. I'm just talking while the video is going. We're 33 minutes in right now, and I believe this is only a 45-minute long video, so they're going to come in soon and wrap this up. But I haven't watched this in a while, but I do remember the ending of this being interesting. And when it's done, we'll talk about where he is now and what happened with this case. Like I said, Google Matthew Boynton and read about the suicide attempt of his wife, who is the one that's pursuing charges in this. I think they said her name is Jessica. It's really weird. The neighbors said they recall hearing 2 shots Then they see him run out of the house. 10 minutes later, Matthew calls 911 and says, "Hey, I just came home and my wife's bleeding in the closet. I just came home. I heard a gunshot. My wife's bleeding in the closet. No, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. I heard a gunshot and I ran back out. Send the police." So he's claiming the gunshots occurred 10 minutes later than when the neighbors heard them. And also when he came home, not before he left, which the neighbors saw him leave after the gunshots. And she later stated she has no memory of it because she was shot in the head twice, or at least shot in the head once. There might have been one bullet that missed and one shot in the head, but she has no memory of that day, but said under no circumstances was I going to commit suicide. I don't think they found gunshot residue on her hands. I mean, it's as hinky a suicide attempt as Kenneth Blue, if you watch that video. And because of Matthew's legacy, grandfather being the chief of police, it was all swept under the rug. And this is a way to get charges on him for something. If you remember, OJ was acquitted. But then later, when police had a chance to arrest OJ for that incident where he was in Vegas and he tried to get back some of his sports memorabilia with some guys, and it turned into a whole thing that technically was like kidnapping and armed robbery, but it was more just two groups of people beefing over some stolen merchandise. They went balls to the wall and pinned as many charges on OJ as they could, just to right the wrong, if you believe OJ was guilty, to right that wrong of him being acquitted. And I think this is an attempt to right the wrong of Matthew not being charged with attempted homicide against his wife and getting off scot-free. And now they've got a chance to pin some charges on him, so they're going to. Because I don't think the jurisdiction that's interrogating him now is the one that was dealing with the attempted murder/suicide scene before. Jessica moved out somewhere else, obviously, and I'm not sure, but I think that's the department that's investigating this. Oh, here he goes. He's finally realized where he's at. He's going to start stripping down now. Well, you're about to get a lesson in all the stuff that police officers carry on their uniform. So he's taken off his radio, and I believe that's his body-worn camera, if I'm not mistaken. He must wear, that's an earpiece. He wears an earpiece that's connected to his radio. He just took that off. That is the microphone for his body-worn, I think. Glasses. Now he's taking off. So his department, they wear an outer vest. A lot of departments wear a bulletproof vest under the shirt. His department wears an outer vest that looks like the shirt.
Sorry, man. I go smoke a cigarette. Man, I'm walking around outside. Why would you say you didn't have the damn bag when you had it? You know you can't give a sworn statement and lie on it.
I know, Sarge.
Why would you do that, Matthew? It was a bag, man. It wasn't. It's not like it was.
Taking off his belt keepers.
Talk to me, man. I mean, help me understand.
Sarge, I swear, I know that was hard to believe, but I didn't think about that bag. Otherwise, I wouldn't have run. I said, hold on, little T. I got something. Let me go get it. I swear I wouldn't have done that because I've got 2 kids, 3 and 1. I wouldn't jeopardize that over a bag. I'm telling you, Sergeant, if I would have thought about it then, I would have said something.
But you knew you had the bag.
That damn
Did you not know
phone.
you had the bag?
I'm sorry. Mine's wrong. I fucked up. I know I didn't. I should have turned it in, but not only because I'm a cop, because I should have, because it was just because even if she let me use it,
It was the right thing to do, man.
I'm clear. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to stop it for just a second because I want to explain what he's doing. This is just wonkish cop stuff I'm going to talk about now. So the Sam Brown belt, which is the duty belt that you wear, that all the stuff hangs off of, your gun holster, your taser, your handcuff pouch, your glove pouch, your radio holder, your baton holder, all that stuff, the bat belt. That's a big, thick, heavy belt that just clips at the front and goes over the top of the belt that's holding your pants up. And obviously that belt is a normal belt that goes through like your belt loops. Well, to keep that gun belt from swiveling around or riding up or falling down, we have these things called belt keepers. They're leather straps about this long that have a snap on each end, a male end and a female end. You loop that leather strap around both belts and snap it. And some guys would carry a minimum of like 3, like a couple in the back and 1 in the front. I carried I had like 6. I had like 1 on either side of my belt buckle, 1 on either side of anything that was heavy, like my holster and gun and my radio. And then I would have a couple in the back. Then your gun belt doesn't move around. When you run, it doesn't jump up and down on you. And it doesn't swivel around like a hula hoop on you. So all those things he was unsnapping, reaching around, unsnapping, and putting on the table, those are belt keepers for his gun belt.
If I would have thought about it then, I wouldn't have messed up and been in this position because of my kids.
But why didn't you turn the bag in when you damn moved?
I don't know what
Because
I was
it's
thinking.
too-
I don't know what I was thinking then.
Did you think you was gonna get in trouble if you turned it in late?
I guess. I don't know what I was going through in my mind.
What do you think should happen now?
He knows what's going to happen now.
I know that's probably going to happen.
No, that's not what I asked you. So what do you think should happen?
I just was my kids, and my kids are fucking daddy's boys, man. If I would have thought about it, I would have done it.
Of all the stuff that you see about you, you know if you were in possession of something that belonged to her, you know you could have brought it to me. You know I'm going to do the right thing, you know I have to do the right thing. I would have took care of it. I would have gotten the bag back to her. But when you knew you had the bag and you didn't do anything about it, man, you put me in a situation where I don't have any other choice.
I'm clear. I'm clear. There's no excuse for it. Here. I know it's got that on here. I know. It's so.
This video is also refreshing in that what you're seeing is, everybody believes in the thin blue line, and cops always look out for other cops. Cops cover up for other cops. And sure, that happens in corrupt departments and with corrupt police officers. But this is I will say the department I worked in for 22 years, never, ever, ever did I see officers covering up for other officers, administration covering up for other officers. Never. That's why I was proud to work there. That's why I worked there for 22 years. What you're seeing here is an example of, hey man, I don't care if you're the chief of police's grandson. I've known you for a long time. We're friends. You know I got to do the right thing here, Matthew, despite our relationship. This is a minor property possession case at its core. The police here could probably talk Jessica out of filing charges if they wanted to and just sweep everything under the rug. They're not. Good for them.
Forward, like, well, okay. I love working here.
I know you do.
And asked you, I was so scared to come to work every day.
Why?
Because every time I did, it was always 11:79 or 10:22 to 42 come up here. I mean, it's always something. I don't know, maybe I thought if I brought it up here I was going to get fired and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm so young and stupid.
But Matthew, doing the right thing regardless, it doesn't matter. If you do the right thing, you can live with yourself.
9 times out of 10, I do. I mean, that's the way I was raised.
But you know that. You know that you have to do the right thing. And when
Weird answer to that. Saying, you got to do the right thing, Matthew, and you're a police officer, you got to do the right thing. And his answer is 9 times out of 10, I do. That's an interesting percentage. 90% of the time you do the right thing, Matthew? I mean, I don't say I always do the right thing. Try to, but I'd put my own numbers at closer to 99% of the time. That's a weird admission that 10% of the time you do the wrong thing, Matthew.
even if you found the bag, you should have said, hey LT, hey Sar, hey whoever, I got something, man. Stop for a minute and talk to me.
I don't know what I was thinking then. I don't know if it's because I was scared. I mean, I told you, I come to work every day scared. There's no excuse. I'm not trying to make one for myself. I mean, I know I'm obviously not employed anymore. It's just like, the only thing I can think about now is my kids, man. 'Cause my kids, I'm daddy's boys. The baby especially. I took him in like he's my own. And I'm not setting a good example right now.
Why don't people who commit crimes or do things with everlasting consequences ever think about their boys or their kids or their loved ones or their own future in life before they do it? I mean, I know that's earth-shattering news, but yeah, Matthew's a narcissist. He was thinking about nothing but himself, getting back at Jessica, punishing Jessica. That's all he cared about.
Always try to show my kids what's right.
But when you swear an oath, we swear that we're going to uphold the law.
Yes, sir.
Regardless. And you can't lie. You can't lie in an investigation. You know that.
I don't know what I was thinking. Like I said, I don't know if I was scared or what. I don't know what was going through my mind then.
Does that make it right?
No, it doesn't. I know that. I know this is everything I've ever worked for, like out the door. My main concern is my kids, man, because I've got primary custody over them, and this is gonna set me back if I get locked up for this. I'm gonna go down and see them every other weekend. And she's not gonna take care of them like she's supposed to. Like, she's supposed to put them on her insurance. I had to do that.
But Matthew, if you did what you were supposed to do, we would not be here in this situation. You think I want to be here?
No, sir.
I would rather be anywhere else than be here.
Clear.
But if you had done what you were supposed to do, we would not even have to be having this conversation. You would have to worry about it.
Yes, sir.
But you know that we have to do the right thing. We have to do what people pay us to do. You know that. You know that, especially with me and Lieutenant Yancey. You've known us a long time.
Yeah. I don't want to lose the primary custody of my kids. Like, I know, I mean, no matter where I go now, I'm not really going to get a good job now, but like, the main focus is my kids, man.
Life is not over with. Everything happens for a reason. Just hang tight, okay?
Yeah, you can tell how disappointed that detective is and frustrated. I think he's talking like that because maybe he likes Matthew, or he's just known Matthew, or it could be neither. He could just be frustrated that he's sitting across the room from another cop who just did something so stupid and unnecessary. And now his career is gone. He's probably going to lose some version of custody of his kids. He just said he had full custody of his kids. That's going to change. And yeah, it's just a slow burn right now inside of Matthew that his life has just taken a dramatic turn for the worse and will never be the same again. Over a duffel bag full of clothes and a retainer. So stupid. I wonder who he's texting. Is he texting Jessica to see if she'll drop the charges? Who knows? I doubt these two have a texting relationship, given what happened. Maybe they do, because they have kids together. 2 kids. I'm not going to mock that he's crying and clearly emotional. I mean, he's a human being. Not a very good human being, but he's still a human being with human emotions, and what he's going through right now is certainly self-inflicted, but nonetheless, it's somebody who's realizing that they're not going to see their boys as much as they had before. And, you know, again, all the unintended consequences of stuff like this and unintended victims of crime that don't necessarily get seen. You have Jessica's the victim of the larceny, but those 2 boys are now going to be the victim of this crime as well, with seeing their father less. They're not going to know. They don't know why. They're too young to know that. Looks like only 2 more minutes. The detective walked out with his gun belt. Smart move. I think he realizes how despondent Matthew is right now, and if for no other reason that so he doesn't kill himself with his own gun now, realizing that his life is in the toilet. So smart move. And obviously for their own protection. I doubt Matthew would do a Jesse James shoot up at the OK Corral and shoot his way out of the building now.
Get your phone. And your glasses. Get your stuff.
Can I get that flashlight and a lot of stuff? Whenever y'all get a chance.
And that's it. Let me look up some info real quick, and then we'll discuss Matthew some more. Okay, did a little research. I have some updates. This occurred in Georgia. So the Georgia Bureau of Investigations was actually investigating this, which is the equivalent of like the FBI, but for the state. That might have been who those officers were. Not sure. I think they were Griffin PD though. But I learned a couple interesting things. Matthew Boynton's nickname was Trigger. given what happened to his wife being shot in the head in a staged suicide, what a weird nickname, and he was arrested. So right after that interrogation, he was placed on administrative leave by the department. He was arrested by Griffin PD and spent the night in jail and was released on bond the next day. There is a very good podcast, apparently. I believe I've seen part of this, actually. It's called The Officer's Wife. So if you want to see more on the shooting case and then on this, go ahead and listen to that podcast called The Officer's Wife. And that's going to do it for this video. See you guys next time. Bye.